gotta go. Yeah, I'll call you back. I'm with that Realtor lady.
Welcome to the Realtor Lady. I'm Michele Replogle. And today my guest is Jaqueline Steib, and she's with Vista Sotheby's International. And I'm so excited to have her as a guest. She's a realtor in Southern California, but also a podcaster. So I think there'll be a lot of good information here. And I am looking forward to hearing everything you have to tell me about your market and hopefully towards the end podcasting. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your area, and then I really want to hear about your market. I think I always learn as a realtor. I had a San Francisco agent on and one from Northern California. And, I really learned a lot from them that actually helped my buyers and sellers here. It's a big community. So tell me about yourself.
Hi, Michele. Thank you for having me. A little bit about myself. I am a former school teacher in my past life. I have 4 children. And then when my twins came around, I was ready to go back into the elementary school, into that type of job. But obviously, I still needed flexibility to raise now twin boys. And I switched gears and I started my real estate business. I'm original from Mexico. So yes, that accent doesn't go away. I've been in this country for over 20 years. I live in Redondo Beach, California. So I work the South Bay cities. We call the South Bay, there's 7 cities. North El Segundo, Manhattan Beach, California, Redondo Beach, California, Hermosa Beach, California, Torrance, Lawndale, and Hawthorne. Lawndale and Hawthorne obviously do not have oceanfront, but they're part of our very close community. All of those markets are very different. They're within a 10-minute drive from each other. Some of them literally are across from each other. But the difference, they're all a hot market right now because the country is just on fire. We all want a new home. We all want the extra space. We are seeing multiple offers. We have, in fact, in LA County, a 25% of year-to-year price increase. So if you can only imagine, if you're a buyer right now, you need to make sure that you have all of your finances lined up and you're ready to go, and you find somebody who could really help you and is looking after you, because I have some bad stories about agents who are just looking after themselves and not their clients.
You also need your clients to listen.
Of course, we have to make sure that when you go to the doctor, you listen to the doctor because of their knowledge. Right. When you come to us, we are here to advise you, and we have gathered so much knowledge and experience that when we say things, listen up, we're not really looking after us. There is liability, and we're protecting you from a big lawsuit. You're not thinking about those things. Those are our jobs. But listen, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
I 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I had a buyer. After just seeing 4 houses, they wrote an offer and they countered and they got it. It was only 3 offers at that point they were competing against, but they really wanted the house. They listened to me, they got it, and they said, "Oh, my friends said they haven't been able to get a house in 6 months, and what did I do differently?" And I said, "Well, I didn't do anything differently. You did something differently. You listened to your real estate agent." And they were like, "Oh yeah, we thought you knew what you were doing, and we got the house." So, I mean, they picked up on that right away, and he just kind of, "Oh, right."
It makes such a big difference, especially in this market when I'm telling you, okay, at this price point, we can expect to see 20 other offers. So when I'm writing your offer, please don't ask me to lowball them or to offer a lower than expected earnest deposit. You're just shooting yourself right there. Might as well don't even bother writing, because you're not going to be the owner.
So tell me, give me an example. What's your latest, it doesn't mean that you actually had to secure the house, but what's your latest example of multiple offers? And I mean, just give me a scenario of your market and kind of an example.
So for example, I'm working right now with this buyers and they're buying in Redondo Beach. The townhome market asking price is 1.6. We submit a stronger offer. We were at 1.65, $1,650,000. We were among the lowest offers. We had no appraisal contingency, no loan contingency, but whoever came in decided to write an offer with no contingencies, which is good if you are only looking to buy the dirt. But
Right.
if you're looking to move into the house, legally, I can see lots of things wrong with that offer.
Yeah. So you had a physical contingency. That's where you had a chance to check the property out.
We are putting in a 5-day physical contingency. Yes. Also, you know that unless the seller has provided all of the disclosures ahead of time, it's meaningless for me to write non-contingent. Is the moment the seller's agent gives me a document, that opens up the contingency period for my client to review those documents, regardless of what's on the contract. In fact, the contract in California gives the buyer that right. So non-contingency, okay, I have done that multiple times, but I like to prepare my sellers. They get front loaded with all of the disclosures. So if you, Michelle, are bringing me an offer, my response to you is, here are all of the disclosures. Go take a look at it and let me know if you need to change anything within your offer.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We do the same thing here. We get all the inspections up front and get everything done up front. But
It's not customary down here to do all of the inspections up front, which is why we leave. Yeah. Southern California, we don't do that yet. Some people do that if we have a property that needs a lot of work. I like for my seller to know what to expect. So I like to bring in termite inspectors. Some of the properties are just beautiful. We know there's nothing going to be found, but they're properties that we know we're going to need something. I like to bring in my inspectors so we can take a look and see what to expect. Obviously, in this market, some people are thinking, whatever, put in that tear down. Everybody's going to remove all of the contingencies, and let's just go for it.
Yeah, we have we do them up front. I've found that buyers typically take any disclosure that they can get, and they like to add zeros to any reports they find, oh, there's something here, something there that's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix. That's fine. That's up to the buyer to decide, or even that agent. But when I can bring it to the seller first and go, look, this is what this buyer is going to think about this. Let's just get it done, get it out there. And then that information just is out. And it's not like they're running around doing all these inspections and then bringing it back to you and going, look what I found, and I'm going to take this much off the price. Our market's a lot for that, but still, it's happened before. So what's your median price down there?
So because of my Lawndale, Hawthorne, and Torrance properties, our median price is around $700,000. However, you are not able to buy anything in the city of Manhattan Beach, California for that price. So we do have our homes where our oceanfront, the Strand, and they're $8 million, $9, $10 million. So that medium price point is, what city are we talking about? Again, there are 7 cities that are super close, but they are so individual and they are so different in price. For example, a single family home right now, a lot in the city of Redondo is going for $1.5 million. That same lot in Manhattan, we're talking $2 million.
And how much would it be to actually put a house on there? Another 2 million, or what's
it would be about $1 million.
We have similar. We have the west side of Santa Cruz, think kind of the boardwalk area. Then we have another resort area, just kind of almost at the opposite end, which is, in my opinion, a little bit better price, but the weather isn't as optimum, in my opinion. And then we have Capitola. We have all these little areas. They're not a bunch of cities. We kind of have Santa Cruz City, Santa Cruz County, and then a couple little cities in there. And they are all different, but we also have horse property, we have mountain property, we have oceanfront property. It just, and then they have all their little prime spots and all of their oceanfront right now is about, you can get oceanfront for 3 to 4 million here still.
So if you go up, down south a little bit, which is essentially 30 minutes to the Palos Verdes Peninsula, that is where we have our horse property. And we call it behind the gates, up the hill, and all of that. So the average price on that city, there's the peninsula, it's made out of 3 cities: Palos Verdes Estates, Rolling Hills, and Rancho Palos Verdes.
And you work in areas?
There, that's my Tuesday place. I do love the hill. The whole quality of life is completely different. It makes me think of going up to the country, so to speak, because we have the beach cities are just the fun party thing. Kind of reminds me of the college scene, so to speak, with that vibe of a lively, family-friendly cities and all of that. Everything is close distance. You can walk to the beach, to the restaurant within, essentially, the city of Manhattan is 1 square mile. That's the whole city. And then in 20 minutes, you find yourself looking at this beautiful bluff, which is the Palos Verdes Peninsula, and you're surrounded by trees. All of the cities have amazing school districts. So if that's important to you, and I think that's why they keep their value, as we know.
And so within those areas, what's your industry? What drives your who's working where, and who's buying these homes?
So we have Northrop Grumman, which is our space industry, literally on the corner of Redondo and Manhattan Beach. So the TRW track in the city of North Redondo was built just for them way back on the 40s for all of their engineers. So we have Mattel, Boeing, Northrop Grumman. We have everything in here. We have Google. I mean, so you name it, we have it here.
You have a lot of industry. So you have people living and working. I mean, because we're we're about a 40%, maybe 35, 40, maybe. I don't know. We're a pretty large second home bedroom community for people who just have another home here. So you have a lot of people who actually live and work in your area.
We have a lot of our second home market. Those ones tend to be Manhattan, Hermosa, and because you're obviously at the beach, you're oceanfront and all of that. We have those. That's our second home market, primarily first homes. Yeah. Primary homes.
We have a lot of people from over the hill that come here and they do buy their first home, but we also have a lot of them who come here and have their second home. Okay. So Manhattan Beach, you said got up to 8 million?
That's your oceanfront. Yeah, we actually had a property on, again, if you cross the street, you're in Hermosa. The property that's for $15 million. Again, the view that you can have views from Malibu all the way to Palos Verdes. And if you're lucky enough, depending on your location, sometimes you can see Catalina Island too. So we have what we call the Queen's Necklace. If you're up in Palos Verdes looking north, you can literally pretend you have a neck, and the ocean waves are crashing onto the base of your neck, and that's the white water. So that's what it's called, the Queen Necklace. Just amazing, beautiful views with the city, nightlife. You get some properties in Torrance, even in Manhattan, Redondo. You can see downtown LA, and you can see the skyscrapers. And it is June gloom right now over here, so we get that.
What's the hottest weather it gets there?
Sorry.
What's the hottest it gets there?
So our normal weather, we're talking about it 72 degrees. The hottest, it's a beautiful summer day where it's maybe 85. And that's 2 weeks out of the whole year. Remember, we are by the ocean, so it's not too hot. We do complain once in a while, and we want the.
Well, we're by the ocean, but we've been
on.
getting the high 90s and 100, and we will probably this year too. We've been getting really hot, really
No,
hot.
we don't hit the hundreds.
Oh, that sounds kind of well. But we cool down at night. We do have our air conditioner. People always ask if houses have air conditioner. I said, yeah, they're windows. Just open them.
Most of our homes do not have air conditioning.
Oh.
If you're buying a new build, the new construction, then you have your air conditioning, but not most of them. Yes, open your windows and you get the beautiful ocean breeze.
Well, that sounds good. I'm sold. So tell me you were telling me about a townhome and you were the lowest offer. So did you guys get a counter offer on that? Did you get a response?
We did get a response, but I can get you a brand new construction for 1.7. So my clients were like, let's just move on to the new building instead of buying this older home for the price of a new one. So that's where we are.
Do you have a lot of new construction? That's part of our problem here is we don't have any new homes.
We're actually selling them off market. So the ones, for example, in the city of Redondo, North Redondo right now has available 5 new construction projects. The rest have already sold.
Yeah. But even if, off market doesn't seem as fair to the general public, but at the same time, you're still taking a buyer out of the market that might give another buyer a chance. That's inventory. We're not getting new inventory. We don't get new stuff.
And I think that's also the advantage of working with a professional who is fully involved in the industry. If you're just a buyer out there looking on your own, I hate to tell you this, it's going to take you a long time because for example, this is my full-time business. Yep. So if you're my client, I'm looking after you in ways that you're not even thinking of because I have my contacts. I have a great network. And if I hear that something is coming, I can get you in today.
Yep.
Which you as a buyer, you don't have that.
Yeah, I had a buyer call me. I think it was last fall. He said him and his wife had spent the summer trying to do it on their own and realized that they needed to get a professional. And within 2 weeks, I had them in something off market.
That's the reason why we don't pull our own teeth. I get it when we're kids. It's the emotion of like, ooh, I have a loose tooth. Let's tie it up to the door or something like that. But as you get older, you don't do that. When you have a toothache, you go to the professional. Same thing with real estate. When you're ready to sell or buy, please do yourself a favor, hire a professional.
I think my journey, podcasting certainly helped too, but my journey this last year through COVID was to really understand the value I bring to the market. I just wasn't giving myself enough credit. And I'm not here to toot my own horn. I'm here to help people understand when you get a professional who has a lot of experience and a lot of great contacts and good professional relationships, it pays off. It's there. You can't even put a price on it. And we just got broker tours back, and that's been pretty exciting. And it's not just to go see a property before open houses, but I was able to get in front of an agent who can be a little hard to get a hold of. She picks up her phone, but she's a little hard to connect with. So I was able to get eyeball to eyeball with her, which was really good in case my buyers were interested in that property. I really needed that connection. So it's super exciting to have this.
That is the thing that we're missing. We're missing that human connection and the ability to go and talk to our peers and say, how are you? We connect with agents at a human level. So when we present them a business transaction and offer, we already have a relationship with them and they know that they can trust us. Our business is all about trust, honesty, loyalty, and it's not only between the agents, it's also between our clients. So when we have that going around the whole transaction, buyer's agent, seller, and seller's agent, we can play this dance, so to speak, as we get through the 30-day escrow or however long they decided to take this transaction, we can be civil. We can do things the right way and make sure that everybody comes out as the winner. The seller and the buyer achieve their goal. We're just there to facilitate that conversation. So yes, I totally agree with you. Yesterday we were doing our rounds for brokers in Redondo, and it was about the, oh my God, I miss seeing you. The house is beautiful, but let's just talk about us.
I think there was still some pensiveness. I saw a few people and they were just like, I don't know, there's still, it was just still good to see their face, even though we, weren't having huge conversations.
It's still about the level of comfort. How close do you want me to get with you? Some of us are like, oh my God, I miss you. Come and give me a hug. And that's okay. Some other people are like, hey, hi, stay far away from me. I'll respect that.
And you told me a war story before we started recording. You got some funny stories for me?
So I was telling you the importance of hiring somebody who knows the ins and outs of a transaction. We just closed this deal where I represented the seller, and the buyer's agent took it upon himself to bring the air conditioning guy. He was helping me to get the termite clearance. And the inspector that we hired said that he wanted to be able to crawl all underneath the foundation of the property, but there were some ductwork that was kind of blocking him. He didn't want to touch it. And the buyer's agent brought his AC guy to see if he could crawl all around. While he's there, he authorizes for the air conditioning guy to update the whole system underneath the house. I remind you, I'm not present. I don't get a phone call authorizing any of this work. 2 weeks later, I get 2 invoices for the work that was done. My reply is, I didn't authorize this. My seller didn't authorize this. You're paying for it. So he comes back to me telling me, if you don't pay, I'm canceling the contract. So here I go back, very legal on you. Sotheby's has an amazing brand. There are so many resources that we have. So I reach out to my legal counsel and I present the scenario. And she goes, very simple. Let's go back to the paper. Let's go back to that offer that they made, the purchase agreement. Chapter 12D tells the buyer, if you or your agent makes any changes to the property while you're under escrow, you are liable, you're responsible, and these invoices are essentially yours. So when you're telling me you're going to cancel, that's okay. You can cancel. You're breaching the contract. We get to keep your security deposit. And by we, I mean the seller. And guess what? That bill is still yours.
Yeah.
So here you go. You could do whatever you want with it. Anyways, it took about a week of him going back and saying, tell your seller to pay for it. I'm like, I am not even going to bother with it. I did talk to my seller very lightly. Oh, funny thing is happening, but I'm not asking you to pay for it. It's not your responsibility. If, as a buyer, you find out during your inspections that this air conditioning system, in fact, needed to be updated, the right way to do it is send a request for repairs. I remind you that at this point, we already have FHA clearance. We're just days to closing. Nothing has been called regarding the air conditioning. So there are proper avenues of doing it. And he was trying just to say, well, I thought it needed to be done. We can think, but there are certain ways for us to really know what needs to be done and how to do it. So don't authorize, first of all, buyers, don't authorize their agents just to go and change things to a property that doesn't belong to you.
Did that buyer even, oh my gosh, there's some feedback here.
The buyer ended up closing and the buyer's agent had to pay for the air conditioning.
The buyer's agent had to, oh my.
He
Wow.
authorized it. And apparently his
How much
buyer wasn't willing to help. It was a couple thousand.
Oh, ouch. So I should just interject right here. In Northern California, it's not required to provide Section 1 clearance for a termite inspection or a termite report. So if we have a termite report inspection done and there's Section 1 mark on there, it's generally just a disclosure. It's not a mandatory thing that sellers have to do.
This was an FHA property, so for that we were required to.
That's true, but don't you require? I mean, I've worked with people that were from LA and said that it was required there and they had to do it.
For FHA, conventional, we have for FHA and BA they're required, and you need to have this certificate for a conventional.
I know, but I mean, required just for normal sales. That is not required anymore, or it's not a thing. Okay. Yeah, especially when I did a lot of short sales and foreclosures, the banks would be located in LA and they would have the report done and they would have the Section 1 work done or credited to the buyer. And we would be like, you don't have to do that. And they were like, yes, we do. And
that's the interesting thing about when a buyer brings a bank that is out of state and they're trying to do things based on their requirements. And we're like, wait a minute, we in California don't do that. Like, what kind of loops are you trying to make me jump to achieve something that's not required on my state in order for your loan to go through across the border? So yeah, we definitely prefer to have lenders that are near us so they know the market, and also our appraisers, they need to know the market. In my case, with our cities, they're so different. Yes, they're within a mile from each other, but you cannot use those comps. And sometimes we have seen that we have an out of area Orange County appraiser coming in here and they want to use a comp that is beautiful in size, perhaps is the perfect comp. The problem is that it's in a different city. So to us, yes, size-wise is great, but you must throw that away because it is across the street. That means there's a whole different city there. It doesn't compare.
Interesting. Are you having trouble getting appraisals scheduled? We are having a horrendous time.
There is a delay right now. So we have been advised to please, if you need an appraisal in your contract, keep it to 14, 17 days because everybody is so booked.
Yeah, we're having that trouble here. I also kind of started sensing that the local appraisers, not only were they not picking up difficult properties, so if it felt like it was going to take them a lot of time, they would just go through the list and they would pick out an easier one. Because I had a condo appraised within a couple days of going into contract, a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, just really quick. And then I had a more complicated property. We could not get anybody to pick it up. But then I also started understanding that we were working with an out-of-area lender. And I started getting the idea that the appraisers were also saying, I don't want to work for out-of-area people. And, I had to tell the lender, he was a nice guy, and I had to tell the buyer, we're not succeeding, and the common denominator is you. You're just too far away. And granted, they went to a larger bank, but for whatever reason, that bank was able to get it done and we got it appraised. And it's, but I was surprised. I didn't know that I thought it was a little bit more democratic than that, I guess I should say.
It makes a big difference. I know that in the eyes of the public, perhaps when we suggest you use somebody local, not just to list, but to buy, there are reasons. And those are the big factors. So when you see as a listing agent, you have all of these offers coming from agents all over the place. Some of them don't really know the value of your city. That makes it very hard for us to highly recommend our sellers to go with that offer. Yeah. For multiple factors. Yeah, the bank. Yeah, we know the appraiser. We never heard these people. We don't know who they are. They work at completely different market. So we were joking in my office the other day, talking about checking the inventory. and the listing agent put in a completely, the address was south on the street, and we're like, south, where is that? The street runs east to west. Like, that's how crazy they are. Like, you don't even know what you're selling. It doesn't look good. It actually looks good for us who are local, because we can advise you and we can use you as the wall of shame. Like, would you rather hire somebody who has no idea what they're doing? They don't know the market, or you have the agents who, due to their lack of knowledge, they are pricing so low.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to receive 20, 30, 60 offers just because your agent put you through that hell, as we call it.
Yeah, they weren't.
No,
They aren't paying attention. My biggest pet peeve right now is non-professional photos.
oh yeah, those are lovely. Let me get my phone. I love photography, by the way. I take some beautiful pictures, but I hire my own photographer for homes. And yeah, my phone has beautiful cameras and all of that, but I don't need to see your fingers. Or guess what? I don't need to see my face reflected on that mirror as I'm trying to hide. And we still see those out there.
What about the pictures of toilets? I love pictures of toilets. So many pictures of toilets.
See, the beautiful thing about my company is that we have standards. So there are certain pictures that you will never see on our listings.
Very
We
nice.
all know a toilet. Come on, even if it is one of those gold-plated toilets, we're not going to put it on our pictures. That
Or couldn't we have turned the light on or opened the curtain? I mean, the dark, like haunted photos, those just we have a $6 million property listed right now, and that guy took them himself. The guy that the agent took the pictures himself, and they are horrible. And you could just imagine the seller sitting down with them, having a beer, a cup of coffee, and going, I just don't know why this isn't selling. And, the rest of us are just all rubbing our foreheads going, this is crazy.
See, especially right now with, well, things are opening more again, but during COVID, when we could not go out and tour the homes, when we were relying on marketing, we were so thankful that we were so ahead of the game with our virtual reality tours, with our 3D tours, and our excellent photography. So we have videos of all of our properties. We have a website where you can go and play. Actually had a seller who said, oh my God, I don't think I need that much work. My property needs that much exposure. And we're like, well, that's a standard. At least it comes with our brand. We are required to have a certain quality, not just in pixelation for our pictures, but we're represented. We're a brand. So Sotheby's is a brand. We have expectations. And yes, if you like to hire an agent who takes their own photos, we're all laughing at him because they don't know what they're doing. They're not a photographer. They're an agent. So you have to stay in your lane.
I like it. I'm sold. I'm going to move to Sotheby's.
Come on in.
We don't have one in our area.
Well, that we can fix that.
I'll open a franchise. I moved to Coldwell Banker. It's going to be 3 years this August. I absolutely love it. I worked for boutiques, and so then I moved to the corporate side, and I like the safety net of it all. It feels pretty good. I like it a lot.
So we have, while it is a big brand and it is a global brand, we love the connection that we make among the agents. It's all about the friendships that we create. It's all about helping each other, and it's all about elevating our industry, and not just within Sotheby's, but the whole real estate industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your podcast, the name, and what's your theme, and your what do you do?
So the idea of my podcast, Coast to Coast Real Estate, came based on that Sotheby's network that we have. There is, as part of our internal system, there is a way where we can connect with all of the agents. And I felt that was very selfish, that the only people who had access to that was the agents. So I decided to bring that network and put it out to the public in the form of a podcast. So in it, every week, I bring an agent from all around the world, and we get to know them, and then we get to know the difference on their markets. Some cities use attorneys for closing, some of them don't. Just little things that are so different from Southern California to Northern California to New York City, Spain, any part of the world. So that's the whole idea, to showcase the agents in different parts of the world and have them share who they are, because not every single one of us grew up wanting to be a realtor. Some of them have, but we all have different dreams, and at the end, the dream is to help our clients achieve their real estate goals. So that's the podcast. Airs every Friday. Today's show talks when I take you to Rhode Island with Robert Raleigh, and he has some interesting stories. He actually sold Lizzie Borden's home.
Who?
Lizzie Borden, you know, the famous
Lizzie Borden. Oh, Lizzie Borden's house. Oh my gosh, the one where she rumored to kill the family?
Her forever home, her big mansion afterwards. So it's
because she moved to another house after that one.
$3 million mansion.
Wow, how fun is that?
Yeah, so I get to meet some very interesting people and from all over the world, and I have that ability due to, again, that Sotheby's network and the desire to help each other. So
how do you find them? You network through Sotheby's to get them to come on?
Again, we have an internal network where we can all connect with each other, and there's, besides Facebook and all of that, we have a global conference, G&E, we have our ninja trainings. There are so many opportunities for all of us where we get to connect that they're my phone. They're my part of my contacts. And if I call any of the main brokers of the company and say, hey, I need help, I need more people, they all open their contact book for me too.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm hoping to get a few more vendors. I've talked to a historian. I'm trying to be a little bit more open, but that sounds enticing too, to talk to some agents from different areas outside of California. What I've noticed talking to you and the other two gals I've talked to, our markets aren't really that different, which is interesting. They really aren't. They're all on fire. We don't have enough inventory. I'd say San Francisco's still the winner in that they price for an auction, and it has to be highest and best. So they put pretty much everything at $9.99, and then where you come in is where you get it. Yeah.
So every week, besides my podcast, every week I have a coaching call where we jump in, and I have agents from all across the United States, and we all talk about our market. And since the beginning of COVID, we all figured out that the market is the same. We are all experiencing the same thing. We have the desire to be on a better place. Some of us need that extra office. Some of us just need the outdoor space where we can go breathe fresh air. So all of the markets across the board have this demand. Obviously, New York City and Miami, those places with big high rises at the beginning of COVID, had it a deep. They took a dive. They were hurt. But as people started to realize, they got very smart because of their prices dropping, inventory. Buyers were coming and taking them as an investment property. So those markets are not longer hurting. They are again on fire.
Yeah.
So it's just
doesn't last for long, really.
No, it doesn't last for long. I think it was just the sky is falling kind of thing for all of us, where at the beginning we didn't know what we were going to do, what was going to happen with all of us, whether we were safe or not. And as we got more information and we were able to see that it's okay to go outside of your house, things started to pick up, and the anxiety has left us. And now we're all just waiting to go back to some kind of normal. That may not be the way we had it before, but we are back out and playing, and our kids are back at school, and we're safe. Some of us lost a lot. Some of us lost our loved ones, and that will never we will never get that back. But at the same time, we have gained a lot of things. We have connected with those around us. So yeah, market's still hot everywhere you go. And I think now we're all looking for a place where we can invite all of our friends and we can accommodate them. So if you have a pool house, you're the you're the popular friend right now.
Well, I'm having an open house tomorrow, and it's just interesting because of all the logistics I have to think about that I forgot about. I mean, I did open houses all the time, and now I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna put the signs and just all the stuff that I've kind of just stopped thinking about. So I've got to get ready for that. But it's kind of fun, and it's nice that sellers have some more alternatives to get people through their house. And wait, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's still very important. Remember, we all fall in love with the property online first, whether you're using a mobile app or the MLS, the link that your agent is sending you, those pictures must be high quality and they must present this house on the best light. Even if it's a fixer, you have to show people the layout. You have to show people that they can dream and reimagine the property. So please don't allow your agent to take their own pictures.
I had a listing last year where I had the pictures professionally taken and I staged it and I kind of told the photographer all the angles. I had 2 agents call me after the showings and said, "You took good pictures." They didn't like the property at all. And they were super mad that I had gotten them there. And I was like, hey, my job's to get you there. And I got you there. And they were like, well, and and this photographer that actually took the pictures, he wasn't the greatest. This guy was late. He barely put his parking brake on and jumped out and took the photos. I mean, this guy was just really unprofessional. But with my guidance and their camera and everything, the pictures were phenomenal. And the property was only listed at like $425. It was this. It doesn't. I guess I just want to say before we go on the professional photographer, that's the slant we're on. It doesn't matter the price point. It's super important. It's so important. It doesn't matter if it's 20 million or 200,000. It just really makes a big difference.
The buyer decides whether they want to walk that property based on those pictures. So if you have quality pictures, you have increased your opportunities to get more buyers to walk your home.
Right. And then what I tell sellers is when you get an offer, you've gotten the highest possible price because you got all those eyeballs. Your first impression was good. The syndication's great when the pictures are beautiful. Everybody picks those up, right? I mean, they just go around the world. And then when you get that offer and it's like, well, this isn't quite what I wanted, but the presentation's there, you're looking at the reports, there's tons of eyeballs on it. You can go confidently in and know that you did get the highest price. So that's what I tell people.
I love when we have the ability, at least in my network, we have the ability to see where those eyeballs are coming from because we can track with all of our statistics and our machine, our Sotheby's machine, pushes all of our listings to 7,500 websites all around the world.
Yep.
And we can track every single click all around the world. So we like to, every Monday after a listing goes live, we like to provide that to our sellers. Here's what's going on. Here's where the eyeballs are coming from. And numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, well, people are looking at it. Here's the offer that you have. And yes, that this is your best offer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jacqueline, I want to thank you so much for coming on and changing the time for the other gal. I really appreciate that. Telling me about your podcast and your market. I have to say I'm a little enticed by the weather because it does get kind of hot here. I grew up here in my area. This is where I'm from. I don't remember it being this hot when I was a kid. So we're experiencing some global warming here, I think.
See, I grew up in Mexico, original from Guadalajara. Then I traveled and I lived on all of the coastal towns. I came here in 1998 and haven't left. So when I first came here, I was like, oh my God, this country is cold. I remind you, the beautiful weather is, beach weather is 70 degrees. Wearing short sleeves right now.
I'm wearing a sweater.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside, even though it's overcast. June starts gloomy. The fog comes in, but it's only in the morning. Then we know that the sunshine is there. You can still hit the water and go swimming, go surfing. So I definitely love it here. And I think that's what we have, a Mediterranean weather.
Yeah.
So what's there not to love?
I'm coming down there. I'm gonna move. Maybe you can introduce me to a good realtor.
I will have to check my network and find out somebody who fits with you. That's the other important thing. I think sometimes people feel intimidated when they meet somebody and they perhaps don't want to break our feelings and say, you know what, I don't think I want to work with you.
Yeah.
You will not want to work with everybody. There is reciprocal relationship. You must find somebody who fits your personality and your needs. And believe me, sometimes we don't want to work with you. So we're not offended. It's just that we all have different personalities, and some of us clicks and some of us don't. So if you're looking to sell, please interview more than one person.
Or if you this is what I also tell people, if you interview a person and you like them and you know you want to work with them, just work with them. Because I have gone on a few listing appointments where I could see it in their eyes. They already had someone else in mind, and they were just doing this interview because they thought they had to. They didn't just waste my time. They wasted their time. They were already sold on that other person. It's okay. If you think that's the person, then just go.
Yeah, if you're committed, then let's just not waste anybody's time. But if you have a doubt, then yes, go ahead and interview. We have a process. We all have a process. We all know how to get things done. Some of us provide better quality than others. But I have to bring that up on the pictures and marketing or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is all about your the relationship that you have. So don't be afraid. It's always getting what's best for you.
Yeah. I think probably what the takeaway besides the professional pictures is what kind of feeling that you feel like they're going to have for you and take care of you. And then the other thing I've been really hammering about in my YouTube videos is just be honest about what you need and what price you want. Please just get in front of it. Don't be cagey. I have had clients over the years when they list the price at the property, we go on the market, and then we come back with an offer even at that price, and then we're like, well, I was hoping for more.
Yeah.
You
I
should
had
have told me. I would have just gone and got that. I just recently had a seller. She said, no, I don't actually want to go for the list price. I actually want to get more. So we went on at that higher price. We got an offer at that price. Just tell me. And if we can't get it, we can't get it. But I need to know what you really want. Make sure that you're really open and honest. That's really the best way to get the best results, is just get out there and don't be shy. Just really let them know what you need.
Or let us know if you're only interested in listing your house to see if you can get that number, or if you really want to sell. There's a difference. We have people who say, well, let's list to see if I can get this price. And guess what? We're bringing you an offer that is 100, 200,000 over. And then you're like, oh no, I think now I want more, but you're not interested in selling. Please don't waste anybody's time. You're not a seller.
I've had a few people that every time I call them, the price keeps going up. And it's just like, I stopped calling them. It's like, well, the market stopped here and now you're moving up in here into this atmosphere. We're just done. Well, I need to jump on the next one, and thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun, and let's stay in touch.
Oh, thank you. We'll be out in 2 weeks, and I'll send you a link too.
Awesome, perfect. I'll put that up on my own active pipe and put that out on my own casting site too.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye. Hey, thank you for listening. If you want to talk more, find me on livethesantacruzlife.com, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or give me a call. My number's in the show notes. Love to hear from you.